Hey, yo, what up? Welcome back. This is not a podcast. This is just my thoughts with Markman. Before we start today, I want to thank everybody for watching, for liking, for commenting, for sharing, and especially for subscribing. We passed 40,000 subscribers today. Really just appreciate the support, man. Let's get to 50, man. Next milestone is 50. I just want to see us pass 50,000 subscribers and keep this channel growing. Appreciate all of y'all. I really mean it. Got a lot to talk about this week. Diddy trial. The prosecution, the defense had their closing arguments. The jury is going to go into deliberation. As I do on every Sunday, I'm kind of just going to recap what happened during the week for you. Maybe I'll do it Saturday. I don't know, but we'll get to that this weekend. I do want to talk about new music. A lot of y'all liked that segment last week. I'll probably keep them short. We didn't get like a lot of views on it, but I think a lot of y'all appreciated just talking about the new music that's out. So definitely going to talk about some of this new music that dropped. I've been listening to this Russ album, man. Shout out to Russ. Wale dropped a new freestyle. So, definitely some dope shit. July 11th, definitely going to do a live stream. Or July 10th, going into the 11th when that Clips album drops. So look out for that. But I want to talk about Nas today. I want to talk about Nas and Jim Jones. That's the big conversation that's going on. Or if you let Jim Jones tell it, Jim Jones and Nas, right? If you let Jim Jones tell it, I got to put his name first, Jim Jones and Nas. I spoke about it earlier this week. Started with a clip. The whole thing started with a clip on IG of a young man who may have been about 22 years old saying that to him, Jim Jones was more influential than Nas was for somebody to his generation. Then Jim got asked about that on the Fat Joe and Jadakiss podcast. And Jim was just advocating for himself and his influence. And then, he started going down to comparing, saying that he's more influential to this generation than Nas. Then he said he had more Billboard hits than Nas, and he walked that back. Then he followed it up with an IG post and said that we all fell for his bait, and his streams go up every time he goes viral, and he's teaching older artists a new lesson in marketing, and he said he could wrap circles around Nas still. Like, all of that then is still, but also he could wrap circles around Nas. Then he went on the Bad Fuel podcast. We talked about that. I'm just recapping what we talked about that. But then this week he went on the Bad Fuel podcast with Esso, with Heineken. Shout out to those brothers. And DJ Clue. And then he tripled down. I'm going to read a quote from this. He says, "What I did for Nas probably never has been done for him in his life. He's never been that viral at all, ever. Ever. He's never been talked about like this ever in his life. Last time he was in some shit like this was with him and Jay." So now Jim is saying that Nas has never been this viral. And then he said he'll put up 100K on a battle to any rap from Nas or just any rapper from his era. He said that the game changed from the 90s. This is all in the Bad Fuel podcast. He said the game changed from the 90s when Nas first started, and Nas' success didn't carry over to the 2000s, and he didn't finish the mission. Before I get into that, because I'm going to refute all of that. Believe me, I'm going to refute all of that. But y'all know me. I'm fair, and I'm nuanced, and I'm balanced. And I want to give this disclaimer. I've always liked Jim as an artist. I thought Jim was the guy who no one expected to make it. Cam and Joel's at a Dipset were naturally gifted as rappers. They were technically better MCs. But Jim worked and really made himself into a rapper and hustled and made himself into a force. Jim definitely has a better discography than Joel's. Arguable that he has a better solo discography than Cam. Cam is the better rapper. I enjoy Jim's discography more than I enjoy Cam. And I could still listen to Jim rap today and enjoy it more than I enjoy Cam, right? Jim got albums that I think are dope. On My Way to Church, the Harlem album, Diary of a Summer, Hustler's Poem, El Capo, which was a newer album I thought was dope. Wasted Talent was a dope album. Jim got classic records like Ballin' and what he did on the mixtape scene with Bird Gang and that whole mixtape era with Max B and Stack and Bird Gang Money is a classic joint, especially if you're from New York. Love Me No More is a classic joint, especially if you from NY. These are like classics in the city, in the street. As far as fashion, Jim definitely influenced the way people dress. I ain't into taking nobody's credit away from them. You know what I mean? And everyone should feel like they're the best. So that part of it I get. But this current run that Jim is on right now, what's going on right now in regards to everything Jim is saying, he sounds nuts. He sounds crazy. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Credit to him, but there's a big difference. There's like a world of difference between Jim Jones and Nas. It's not even the same conversation. As far as going viral, Illmatic, 5 mics in the Source. That was viral before viral was a thing, before the internet. That was the equivalent of going viral. When he popped out with Lauryn Hill, If I Rule the World, man, that was a big hit, equivalent of going viral. I'm just talking about the moments that impacted culture. The Hate Me Now video when he was depicted on the cross with the crown of thorns and that video on MTV and the controversy that caused and actually caused the big tension between Diddy and Stout. That was viral before viral. The big QB chain, you know what I'm saying? The big QB chain was viral before viral. Belly, viral before going viral was viral. Ether beating Jay-Z in the battle. Then the I Declare War concert with him and Jay coming back together. That was the equivalent of going viral. Marrying Khalees. Divorcing Khalees. You know what I'm saying? Then that whole album. The N album was viral. The fact that he would even call his album that was a big deal. When he said hip hop was dead and pissed a whole bunch of people off, that was going viral before viral was viral. Nas won a Grammy for King's Disease 3, sold out MSG 2 years ago. These are all viral moments, right? Impactful moments. And I didn't even start talking about his strongest suit. Nas' strongest suit is actually the music. It's not everything else that comes with it. It's actually the music and the classics that he's given us, and him as an MC, as a storyteller, the impact, the content of the music, how he influenced MCs lyrically for generations. Nas changed the sound of New York in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like before Nas, like Das Effects, like even, and y'all know Jay is my favorite. Jay was rapping fast. You know, it was more of that sped up flow. And Nas kind of smoothed everything out. Then Big came, Ready to Die came right after Illmatic. And after that, New York had, the sound of New York had changed. So, you know, look, man, Nas is just no question influential. Jim is talking crazy. There's nonsense. He's actually just talking to go viral and to get us talking. And I know that. But here's the point of today's video, because it's so funny. Nas today dropped this video because he's putting his bid in to bring a casino to Times Square in New York City, a casino. You know, this is the same guy who in the Street Dreams video was reenacting the movie Casino and dressed like Sam Rothstein and got actors from the Casino movie to be in his music video. You know, and now he's working and partnered to try to bring and win a bid to bring a casino to New York City Times Square. Now, one thing I just want to say about this when it comes to politics is, one, that's big business. That's amazing. That's a Notorious B.I.G. Whoever thought that hip hop would take it this far moment. Jay is also putting his bid in. You heard me talk about this before. Whoever thought that hip hop would take it this far, I think is the best lyric in hip hop ever, because we have so many moments when hip hop keeps raising the ceiling. So I can recognize the greatness of that. I don't know what it means for the community. I don't know how the community benefits from it. And they may, I'm truly saying I don't know. There may be plans to slice out whatever this $5 billion plan is that to help housing or to help whatever. I don't know. And that is a separate conversation, and that's an important conversation. But as far as hip hop artists, as far as black men being able to do business on this level, particularly hip hop artists, particularly somebody like a Nas or a Jay-Z being able to do it, is pretty amazing. So I say all that to say this, but this is the difference. Like right now, Jim is on a podcast run, doing podcast rounds, trolling, trying to create these viral moments and saying to older artists, look, I'm gonna teach y'all how to go viral. By just saying whatever, right? That's crazy. And on the flip side, so that's what Jim is doing, and here's what Nas is doing. Jim is saying, I got 100,000 to battle anybody. I put 100,000 up. And here's what Nas is doing. Look at the video.
The future is not something you wait for. It's something you build. It lives in the hands of the doers, the dreamers, the people who refuse to stand still. Resorts World is more than a casino. It's energy, it's opportunity, it's hope for the borough. A second chance for some, a first step for many. It's where community gathers, not just to win, but to build a future once imagined. This isn't just business, this is legacy. And now, it's time to invest in us. Because the future doesn't ask for permission, it moves with purpose. From our chairman to our newest employee, we're committed to Queens. And in Queens, the future is now.
And this is as a result of in 2024, Nas joined Resorts World Casino for a $5 billion casino expansion in Queens. So they've already been working on this thing. It's just a different level. And, you know, when we're having the music conversation, and I truly mean this, money doesn't matter in the music conversation. When it comes to music, like, money don't matter. Your skills matter. But Nas wins the music conversation hands down, like versus Jim. Nas one of the greatest to ever do it. Top 5 on everybody list, arguably. He should be. One of the greatest to ever do it. So he beats Jim in the music conversation. It's not even close musically. And Jim is talking about all these other things like going viral and impact and influence. And so he's introduced this. This is what I'm saying is this is a different type of influence. And when you just look at the trailer and the thing that Nas dropped today, he's just playing on a different level as far as influence. You know what I'm saying? And again, I say this with nuance, not to take anything away from Jim, because I think what Jim has accomplished is great, seeing from where he started. Like, I can't downplay what he's accomplished, but he can't downplay what Nas has done and what Nas means to the game. You just sound crazy doing that. So you want your props. You want people to recognize you for the barriers that you broke down, but you tear somebody else down for theirs. It's all hip hop though. It's all competitive. I get it. And it's all in the name of going viral, but he just sound crazy. Those are just my thoughts. I just thought it was interesting. Jim is making the podcast rounds. Nas is working to build a casino in New York. It's just, to me, a different conversation. What are we talking about here? But let me know your thoughts. Hit me in the comments, all right? Appreciate y'all, and thank you for 40,000 for real, all right? Till the next time. Peace.